All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Cardinals player profile for 2024. Today, we're going to be talking about Sonny Gray. I am the resident Sonny Gray truther. I'm really excited about him. I know that there's just a hamstring injury. We're going to talk about that, but I don't want to talk about that now because I haven't had my chance this season to really get excited about him. This is one of the signings that the Cardinals have done in recent years that has made me like the most excited. I have been a big Sonny Gray fan since he came into the league. Really liked watching him in Oakland. Cincinnati, he was really good. And it bothered me how good he was and that he wasn't a Cardinal. Loved seeing him in Minnesota. Hated him in New York. That was really a bummer. Definitely the worst stop of his career. But Sonny Gray has been really good for a long time. He's very consistent. And honestly, I think it was a great move for the Cardinals. A number of times from the outset of the offseason, I said that he was my choice if the Cardinals had to pick anybody because of the consistency he gives you. Basically, every year, he's 15 to 25% above league average. I think last year obviously was a career year for him. I don't know if he's going to replicate that. Obviously, he's my Cy Young pick. That's just kind of for fun. We never get those right anyway. So, yeah, that's what I've got. I'm really excited. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I am less high on Sonny Gray than you. I would have taken Yamamoto over him, but, that's my own
Not for
preference.
$325 million.
Yeah, not for that, but just in a vacuum. But I'm just concerned about the injury right now. We broke that down in depth on Tuesday. Sandy wasn't here; he was too busy crying in the corner because he was sad about Sonny
That's so mean, but so true.
But yeah, so I don't know if he stays healthy. I'm excited for him, but regardless, I still think the Cardinals need to add another pitcher on top of him at the head of that rotation. I don't think he can carry this team alone. He's not like. He's a top pitcher in baseball, but he's not like a top 5 pitcher in baseball.
Sure.
So we could definitely add more to this rotation. I know this Sonny Gray profile, but I'm just concerned because the last time he had a hamstring injury in 2022, he had 3 IL stints, missed like 10 starts throughout the whole season, and we just can't afford that this year. Sandy, what are your thoughts on the injury and what we should do about it? Because we haven't heard from you about that yet.
Yeah, without a doubt, the injury concerns me. The moment I saw it happen, I unleashed a torrent of sadness and negativity onto Twitter and then into the Newt News text feed. So it was not great. Obviously, I was quite upset. Go look at my timeline if you need to be sure. But it is what it is. It seems relatively minor. I think Sonny Gray will be ready by opening day. It's just a minor strain. We've seen these with other players before. But we also have to remember there is a real problem with Yamamoto and hamstring injuries. They've limited him in the past. Oh, not Yamamoto. Sorry. Sonny Gray. My brain is so scrambled. Sonny Gray and hamstring injuries. We've seen it in the past that they have held him out of competition for significant amounts of time. So I think it's worth being concerned. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I think at the very most, he's going to miss 1, maybe 2 starts. And after that, he's a durable guy. He's been durable throughout his career. He was very durable last year. He's made at least 25 starts, a ton. He's made 30 starts 5 times in his career, which is great. He might not give you that many this year, but he's going to give you a lot. And the nice thing about this hamstring injury, it's not the type of thing where you're worried about impacting him down the line. Very minor. So it's not like an elbow or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, Mozeliak already said it was going to be a challenge to get him back ready for opening day, so I'm not sure if I think he'll be ready for that. But yeah, I'm just hoping that he gets back. Elbow injury would have been obviously the worst. If the Cardinals had Giolito, the season would be pretty much over at this point, unless they went out and got one of Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery, which they still should do. Hopefully, we'll do our Blake Snell profile next week. But yeah, I still think he has what it takes to lead this rotation into the playoffs. He's been nothing but good throughout his whole career. Like you said, that one stint in New York, he's already mentioned some injury concerns, which, maybe
they tried to change how he pitched. Yeah. Like in New York, they tried to make huge changes to how he pitched, and he was an ace in Oakland. So it was a stupid decision by the Yankees. Sorry, I just felt the need to get that out.
Yeah, so I feel like the projections are a little low on him. We'll get into that next. Do you want to do best case, worst case right now? Yeah, so worst case for me is that he's hurt. He just doesn't make as many starts as we want him to. And even when he's on the mound, it's not fully effective. I know we try not to bake in injuries into best case, worst case when we do this, but like he's already suffered an injury, so I feel like we can kind of take that into account. And the hamstring injury is worse than people have let on. He's going to miss starts like in mid-season, maybe even towards the end of the season. And that's not really worst case for him. Like, he could be just not effective. Like, age could catch up to him. But for the team, I feel like missing starts is the worst that could happen, because we ranked him as our number one most important player for the season. All three of us were in agreement on that, because they kind of just put all their eggs in the Sonny Gray basket. And we're like, okay, we improved our rotation. Here's one guy at the top of the rotation. Have fun with that. And if he's not there, then our rotation is Michaelis, Matz, Lynn, Gibson, and Thompson, which you look at last year's rotation with Montgomery, who's better than all those guys, Michaelis, Matz, Flaherty, and Waino. Like, you just pick your poison, right? Like, they're both terrible rotations.
It's not great.
And, like, we're relying very heavily on him. So I feel like the worst case is he's just not available. And when he is on the mound, he's not who he was last year. So you kind of just spent a lot of money this offseason and didn't get any better.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you. The worst case is that the injury's bad and that he misses significant time. If Sonny Gray makes 28 starts, like, it's not the end of the world. But if Sonny Gray is only making 22, 20, now you're starting to be really concerned. And the worst of the worst would be he's not available at the end of the season for a playoff push or a playoff series, assuming the Cardinals even get there with him being diminished. And that's becoming very difficult. I think the best case for Sonny, though, on a more positive note, is that he's really, really good again. Sonny Gray had a lot of things to love about his season last year. The home run rate was the lowest in all of baseball. And we can't pretend that he's just going to keep that up. It was an aberration, the lowest of his career, but he's limited homers really well throughout his career too. But, generated plenty of strikeouts still, 9 per 9, so about 1 per inning. Super low home run rate, like I said, low hit rate. His whip was nice and low, right around 1.1. But the thing I love most about him was his low FIP. So FIP is a good stat. If your FIP is really high, you have a low ERA, it's pretty easy to say, hey, he got lucky. Sonny Gray had the lowest FIP in all of baseball, 2.83. His ERA was 2.79. So right in the same range, not like he was getting super lucky. He was just getting, like, limiting hard contact, keeping the ball on the ground a lot. So much to like about Sonny Gray. I'm really excited for what he can do for this team. And I think if the defense is better the way we think it'll be, that'll play to Sonny Gray's advantage as well. And I think there's a really good shot he's an all-star this year. I think there's a really good shot he gets down ballot Cy Young support. Will he be a finalist again? Probably not. He's been one 3 times in his career, though. He is that good. So, yeah, I'm really high on him. I think he might not be able to carry this rotation, and that's because almost nobody in baseball can carry this rotation. But he can definitely propel the Cardinals to playoff success.
Yeah, I feel like best case, he just does what he did last year. Sign consideration, leads the Cardinals to a playoff run. And now, is that going to be a good playoff run? In the wild card series, where you got 3 starters, Sonny Gray, and then we go with, like, Matz and Michaelis. I mean, if you win the first game, can probably luck your way into another game. But then you move later in the playoffs. You face the Dodgers, you face the Braves. You got, what is it, Strider, Fried, Sale, and then Yamamoto, Glasnow, and Buehler. Just not really gonna stack up well there. And
yeah,
I think you need another guy to pair with him personally, but that's not Sonny Gray's fault. He could still be really, really good.
exactly.
Cardinals could still need to add another arm. Those two aren't mutually exclusive. Sonny Gray could win the Cy Young. The Cardinals will still need another arm behind him.
That's true.
Which they don't have.
It's very true. And I think it's an unfair expectation that's been placed on Sonny Gray by Cardinals fans when they say, oh, Sonny Gray is not a true ace. He's not good enough to carry this rotation. And I'll tell you right now, nobody can carry this rotation. There are problems with it up and down. Nobody can carry a roster on their own. These guys, even the best pitchers in baseball, they're really good. They win a lot of games. Their teams win a lot when they pitch, but they have other guys in those rotations that are good too. And that's something the Cardinals need to understand. And it's something Cardinals fans need to get through their heads, because no matter how good Sonny Gray is, he can't necessarily, he's not the only reason they make the playoffs or miss the playoffs. Getting into projections, though, they're not as positive as I thought they'd be, to be honest. I'm a little disappointed. They all have him making between 28 and 29 starts, which is really good. They all have him getting somewhere around 150 to 160 innings. I'm going to take the over on the innings number. He had 184 innings last year. I think he's going to get close to 170, 175. He might not make as many starts as he did last year, but he's still going to rack up almost as many innings. I don't think he's going to take that big a hit in that department. Definitely not a 30, 40 inning drop. I think the ERAs, they're all between 3.6-ish and 3.85. I'm going to take the under on that too. The peripherals were really good for Sonny Gray last year. There was nothing unsustainable about his performance. The home run rate could change, but even if that goes up a little bit, I can't see his ERA jumping by a full run. I think he's going to be somewhere closer to 3.2, 3.3, and I think he's going to be one of the best pitchers in the National League. I said it. Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like the projections are a little bit down on him as well, and yeah, I feel like he can be better than that. That's the worst ERA he's posted since 2020, which doesn't count. Actually, no, 2021 was slightly worse, but he was pitching for the
Still
Reds
good.
at their
Great American
park.
Small Park.
Yeah. So I feel like he can be better than that. 3.08 ERA in 2022, 2.79 ERA last year was really good, and FIP is what I like to look at for pitchers' future performance. It's a much better predictor of future ERA than ERA is. So I think that Sonny Gray will carry some of that momentum into this season. Now, he has to be healthy for that to happen. Hamstring injury isn't the worst in the world for hindering future performance, but it could play a factor. That might be a reason he takes a step back, but I don't think he takes that big a step back. It's like a full run worse than last year, which, I mean, he did, I think, overperform some of his metrics last year. He was really, really good last year, had Cy Young consideration. If Garrett Cole wasn't there, he probably would have been the favorite, which would have been really cool for Sandy, but bad for the Cardinals because then he would have gotten a much bigger contract. But
ain't that the truth?
Yeah, so I think Sonny Gray, the injury could hinder him for this year, but honestly, the projections are a little bit too low. I feel like he'll be a mid to low threes guy, like 3.2, 3.4. I feel like is where his absolute worst season would be. But yeah, I'm confident in him. Like Busch Stadium, I think is a more pitcher friendly park than most of the parks that he's pitched at before, so that'll play to his advantage. So yeah, I'm excited if he's healthy. Also very worried if he's not. Have a full, like, very raw reaction to that. We were not happy. Ownership, please go spend more money. We don't want to rely just on Sonny Gray. But it kind of seems like that's what we're going to be doing this season. So I'm nervous. If he gets hurt, could be really bad. If he's good, it could still be really bad because the rest of the rotation needs help. But we'll get into that for future profiles.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode of the Newt News Podcast and another Cards player profile. As always, we can't wait to see Sonny Gray pitch in 2024. We are beyond excited. Thanks for watching, though, and on your way out, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.